Alright guys, what's going on? It's Alpha Heavy Gamer. Today I want to talk about the future of War Thunder, specifically the future of high tier aviation. Today we're going to discuss the coming active radar missile age. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, Gaijin kind of dropped a hint at what's ahead concerning active radar guided missiles. They did this in the context of explaining why the new GAF that's coming will only have PL-8s, infrared guided missiles. I mean, the PL-8 is a Chinese Python 3 clone, so it's going to be pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't worry, and you get to carry 6 of them, so it's going to be good. But anyway, the GAF won't get the semi-active radar homing PL-11s because the GAF doesn't have a target illumination radar. Gaijin explained that in I thought was a pretty good post, pretty good dev blog, and I like how open they're being about this stuff. And transparent in their decision making, which is very nice for a change. So the main point of what they were saying in that dev blog was that the PL-12 will arrive at the same time that other nations get their active radar missiles in the game as well, excluding the Phoenix, which is already here. So this is really good news. Other nations will get their active radar guided missiles all at the same time, so there's not going to be like this massive crazy fest where some planes are getting decimated and others are riding on top. All right, so knowing that now, we can kind of extrapolate out with the aircraft that we already have in the game and the ones that are supposed to be coming in this update on what active radar guided missiles are going to be in the game, so we can kind of compare and contrast. Some are going to be better than others. It's just the way it is. So let's dive into what we can expect going forward. I think we're going to have a major update with all these missiles arriving by the end of the year. Usually end of the year we get a pretty big update. So the missiles I'm going to talk about specifically are of course the AM120 AMRAAM, the PL-12, the Mica, the R-77, the Mitsubishi Am4, and the Israeli Derby missile. Alright, so first up is the AM120 AMRAAM, or the Advanced Medium Range Air-to-Air Missile. This was developed by Raytheon, and primarily I'm going to be talking about the AM120A because that's the version that I think we're going to be getting first. But this missile has proved its combat capabilities during missions in Iraq, Bosnia, and Kosovo. It has multi-shot capability if you're using track while scan. It has really good immunity to countermeasures. It has a home on jam mode, for example. It has a low smoke solid fuel rocket motor, which makes the AMRAAM really, sneak up on you. I mean, you won't even see it coming, especially if you weren't RWR aware. The AMRAAM comes in 3 variants principally, actually 4 right now: the A, the B, the C, the D. The A really isn't in production anymore, but like I said, I expect the AMRAAM 120A to be the first one that hits the game. The AMRAAM uses a combination of inertial guidance, mid-course updates, and an onboard active radar, which finds its intended target and completes the intercept. But what you're still going to want to do, unless you of course launch the missile Mad Dog, which means launching it active, you're still going to want to support the AMRAAM until you get until actually the seeker becomes active, and then the AMRAAM, if it has enough energy, it'll find its target and complete the intercept. And that's overall how all these active radar homing missiles work. The Phoenix is the same way. They're fire and forget, but not really. If you want a high probability of kill, you're going to have to meet some launch parameters and support the missile until it becomes active. With the AM120A, you're looking at a range of about 50 kilometers, but that's going to depend on your altitude and your speed when you launch the missile. Now the AMRAAM is a little long in the tooth. The later models, the AM120Ds, which I can't wait for those to hit the game, but they're going to have even more capability. But the AMRAAM has been procured by about 40 nations in the world. It's been integrated onto the F-15s, F-16s, the Hornets, the Super Hornets, Eurofighter Typhoon, the F-35, the F-22, Tornado Harrier. So when we're talking about its applicability, especially the AM120A to aircraft in the game, it's going to cover a lot of nations. So in the short term with the AM120A, relative to the aircraft that are in the game right now and that could be coming, I definitely see Gaijin putting in upgraded F-16s and maybe even the F-15, which will carry the AM-120 AMRAAM. The ADFs can carry the AMRAAM, but also some upgraded AMs and C models, depending on what nation has what. But the F-16 definitely is going to see some AMRAAMs, and hopefully we get an F-15 before the end of the year. Germany, a little bit strapped for aircraft. Germany always is, but the F4 ICE, I expect that to be appearing in the game before the end of the year, and of course that carries the AM-120 AMRAAM as well. The United Kingdom with the Tornado ADV F3, that also will carry the AMRAAM. And of course for Italy, their Tornado ADV will carry the AMRAAM as well. But I'm hoping that Italy will get the AV-8B plus Harrier 2, which also has AMRAAM capability. Moving on to Israel, the F-16s and F-15s for Israel, of course, will carry the AM-120 AMRAAM and the Derby. I'll talk about the Derby later. For Sweden, their AMRAAM, which is the RB99, can be equipped onto the JAS-37D, which is already in the game. And as Gaijin has indicated, the JAS-39A Gripen will be coming, and that will carry the RB99 as well. Alright, so up next is the PL-12, also known as the SD-10A in the export market. So this missile was developed initially with Russian assistance. I believe it has a lot of R-77 DNA, especially in its seeker technology. But the PL-12 missile is considered to be better than the AM-120A, and somewhere in between capability-wise between the AM-120B and the C, although it's not assessed to be better than the AM-120C. So the PL-12 is already better than the AM-120A, if that's what Gaijin plans on doing, giving us the AM-120A. So like the AMRAAM, it's a fire and forget capability. It has data link for mid-course updates, its own secret head, all that stuff. The range of the PL-12 is expected to be between 70 and 100 kilometers, so already this would outrange the AM-120A. The export version, which is the SD-10 like I was talking about, has a reduced range, and that's a range up to 70 kilometers. So at least for this year, I'm expecting definitely the JF is going to get its PL-12s like Gaijin said. I'm hoping that we would see a J10, which would also get PL-12s. Keep in mind the JF can also carry the R-77. I'll talk about the R-77 in a bit. Alright, so next up is the R-77, NATO reporting name A-12 Adder. So this is very much like the AMRAAM. It's a medium-range air-to-air missile developed by Vimpel. It has really good multi-purpose target engagement capabilities and supposedly good resistance against countermeasures. Of course, it has a data link for mid-course updates, an active radar seeker in its head. Its launch range is about 80 kilometers, so this already outranges the AMRAAM, the A variant, by about 30 kilometers. And typical of Russian missiles, the R-77 comes in a couple different variants. There's an R-77T, the infrared seeker. There's also the R-77P, which is a passive radiation homing missile. So interesting. So of course there are upgraded versions of the R-77, which expect not to drop, at least this year. But there's the R-77-1 with a range of 110 kilometers, and then there's the R-77M with a range of 193 kilometers. Those are going to be some pretty strong missiles when they do come to the game. As far as the aircraft that it will equip in-game, really I'm primarily looking at the MiG-29, an upgraded version that can carry the R-77 active radar homing missile. Of course, would like if Gaijin would introduce the Su-27 flanker this year. Of course, that would be an R-77 candidate as well. The MiG-31, if that appeared in the game this year, I wouldn't be mad, but that's also another R-77 candidate that could carry that missile. And also, if Gaijin wanted to, they could give the R-77 to the Chinese tech tree, equipping the J-8F, the J-10, and Chinese flankers. Alright, so next up is the Mica missile. It is a short-range and a beyond visual range missile developed by MBDA for the Rafale and for advanced variants of the Mirage 2000, like the one we just got, or getting the Mirage 2000-5F. The Mica comes in two versions, the Mica RF, which is the active radar seeking variant, and the Mica IR, which is of course the infrared variant. Both of these missiles are replacing the Super 530s and the Mirage 2s. So the Mica is capable of lock-on after launch, it has thrust vectoring. Like I said, it comes in two variants, the Mica RF, which is the active radar one, and the Mica IR. So with the RF version, of course, you get mid-course updates with the data link, all that good stuff. Depending on which version you use, the range is about 80 to 100 kilometers, so very great, very big engagement envelope. At any rate though, the Mica has a high level of tactical flexibility with, like I said, its BVR, multi-target, multi-shoot modes, its enhanced short-range performance. I think it's going to be probably one of the most powerful missiles in the game, and I'm expecting it to come for the 2005-F. Alright, so next up is the Derby missile developed by Israel's Rafael Advanced Defense Systems. So this is a pretty innovative missile. Actually, it comes in two variants, an extended range variant, which goes out to about 100 kilometers, and has the base variant, which goes out to about 50 kilometers. This missile is, the Derby is really built off of the Python 4 missile frame. It has some, like I said, some pretty innovative technology in it. For example, the Derby's data link enables it to receive target information from the launching aircraft or from other sources. It can also be fitted with advanced programmable electronic countermeasures. So Gaijin would need to model that, but that's pretty cool. Alright, so for aircraft applicability, it can be fitted to a lot of aircraft in the game. The Mirage 2000, the Jas 39 Gripen, of course not in the game yet, but F-16s, F-15s, the F-18, the Typhoon, Sukhoi 30. So looking forward to this missile a lot. Alright, so next up, and the last missile I'll talk about is the Mitsubishi Am4, which is a Japanese active radar homing missile, medium range, equipped to the F-15Js and the Mitsubishi F2. This was to replace the Sparrow in Japanese service. Not much is known about this missile. There is another variant of it, the AM4B, which is touted as the world's first ASA seeker equipped medium range air-to-air missile. So be nice to see this in the game, because this is what Japan would be using on their F-15Js. So that's, I kind of already talked about the applicability to aircraft in the game. For Japan, I don't see their F-16J getting that. I don't know, Gaijin would have to do some research. I couldn't find anything on that at all, especially because the F-16J was never adopted. But the F-15Js and the Mitsubishi F2s definitely would carry the AM4s. Alright guys, so that's my readout on what's coming, at least for active radar missiles. If this video gets enough interest, maybe I'll do one on infrared missiles. There are a lot of newer generation infrared missiles that are going to be coming to the game, and I'd like to talk about those. Let me know what you guys think. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. It really helps me out a lot, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in my next video. Thanks.